Hello. So I've never done a live video before, so this is actually very scary. So I'm gonna see if anyone joins. I don't really know how it works. I'm just kind of checking it out. But what I wanted to do is kind of something I do every week. Usually by Thursday, there's a ton of leftover veggies and things like that. So I wanted to show you guys what I do in order to make sure that I utilize all my leftover veggies and make sure I'm not putting anything to waste, because I just watched Anthony Bourdain's Wasted, and over a third of the food that we purchase we end up throwing away, which I find to be a giant waste. So I try to throw everything together, usually in a bowl. I end up making a stew or a soup or something like that by the end of the week. So, oh, hi Janice. This is so cool. I've never done this before. Very fun. So I'm gonna show you guys how I end up putting a meal together with just what I have left over in the kitchen and some basic staples that I have in order to make something work. So today I have a bunch of leftover red peppers. So I'm just using one red pepper here. And then I always buy way too many onions and carrots. So I have actually a half of an onion that I've chopped up here. And then I have 3 rainbow carrots. You can see here, 3 rainbow carrots. And then I have leftover basil and some garlic. And then I'll show you the staples that I have in my kitchen that I can throw into the crock pot with this. But these are things that I have. So obviously you're not gonna have the same types of foods, and you can do whatever you might have in your kitchen. For instance, if you don't have fresh basil and you wanna use dried basil seasoning, whatever, that's fine. Or if you have spinach you wanna use, or maybe you have some artichoke or some other vegetables that you wanna get rid of and throw in the pot, go ahead and do that, or sub. This is just what I have, so I'm showing some examples of what I use. So first, those are the vegetables that I'm gonna use from my leftover, that are left over in my refrigerator. And then I have a bunch of staple things. So I have this giant bag of quinoa that I got from Costco that I don't know when I'm gonna use all of this. So I would use it for like a stew or something like that. So I'm actually gonna use that today in I'm making a vegetable stew is what I'm making. 100% vegan, vegetarian. And then I have red lentils. So I always have lentils in my kitchen. Sometimes I'll do the brown, yellow lentils, sometimes red. I love these for soups. They add a ton of protein. You have 13 grams of protein for a 1/4 cup. So these are always a great staple. And again, throwing in any type of vegetables or into a vegetable broth is always a great idea for these. I always have beans, so garbanzo beans, black beans. And so this time I'm using just some organic black beans that I have in the kitchen. So I've already pre-rinsed the quinoa, and I put 2 cups in here, and then I pre-rinsed the lentils. So all I'm gonna do is quite literally dump everything into this crock pot. So right now it's on medium. I don't know if you can see it here, kind of to the side. It's really hard to look in this and show you the crock pot. But what I'm gonna do is start by, just to recap for everybody, if anyone else new is joining, which I see, hi Hermione. I see more people are joining. This is so cool. I never do this, by the way, and it's very scary. So I thought I need to do this more often, and I'm just gonna do it in my basic daily life and things that I do. So the other staple that you wanna make sure you have on hand all the time is a broth. I am a vegetarian, so I use vegetable broth, but if it's chicken broth, beef broth, whatever you want to use, bone broth, whatever's in your kitchen, it's a great staple to have. So I'm making this vegetarian stew. It's going to be a tomato-based stew using all of my leftover veggies from the week. As I was just stating in the beginning of this video, more or less, after watching Anthony Bourdain's Wasted and realizing that a third of the food that we purchase goes to waste, it's just sickening. And so I want to really try to help you guys utilize whatever leftover veggies you have in your home. By the end of the week, it's Thursday. Most likely you have a lot of leftover things, and hopefully they're not bad and you can throw them into a stew like this. So in addition to that, I'm kind of sharing the staples that I have in my kitchen that make it easy for you to create something in a relatively short period of time, because nobody has time to be making this huge extravagant dinner every night. So I have 2 cups of pre-washed quinoa. I'm gonna dump these into my crock pot. So for every cup of quinoa, you want 2 cups of water. So I'm gonna sub that actually with this. So I'm using my vegetable broth, so I'm actually gonna sub it here. And so I'm adding this whole entire thing of vegetable broth. I got this at Trader Joe's. I like to get the low sodium vegetable broth, but again, you can use chicken, beef, whatever desires you have. If you're a meat eater, totally cool, but I just prefer vegetable. So I'm gonna first put in my base, and then I'm gonna add the lentils that I pre-washed. So what I was stating earlier, if you're just joining, I always have lentils as a base and some sort of grain like quinoa in my kitchen, so I can throw it in and add it to any vegetables that I have left over at the end of the week. So I've pre-washed these lentils. Nothing fancy here, guys. I'm literally just doing what I would normally do in my life, and I'm going live, which is kind of crazy. So anyways, it's very scary. So I've dumped this into my pot. I'm gonna also add some water to this when I'm done. But if you didn't catch what I did in the beginning, these are all the leftover veggies I have for the week. So I always buy extra carrots and onions, so I've chopped them up, and I'm gonna be putting these in the vegetable stew. And then I have 1 red pepper, also some fresh basil, and some fresh garlic, which I love, and I pretty much put into everything, and I always have like 2 or 3 bulbs left over. So my husband hates garlic, so I'm putting in things that I eat because I love it, and there's so many health benefits. So I'm just gonna dump these all into my crock pot. It's that simple, guys. Dump, cut and dump, that's all I do. And this is a very easy recipe to put together with leftovers, and something that you can keep for the next few days. It's not gonna go bad. So I'm gonna also add in my organic black beans that I got from Trader Joe's. I've already pre-rinsed these, dumping them right in. Super simple. So now I'm gonna add, excuse my water. So I'm gonna add in just another cup of water because I've added in 6 cups so far total. And then I'm gonna add in this. So I was just stating today when I was talking